Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Brother Galen again. And sorry if I look a little bit rough or sound rough. Been sick here the past week or so. And so I've kind of, I guess, let myself go or whatever. Trying to get over the sickness. And, but sorry for the lack of videos. Been extremely busy with work and school and finishing up a project for a place that I recently worked at. So things have been kind of hectic, along with all my other duties that I have to do, with church and this and that, and staying kept up on my Bible, the way I always make sure to read, learning new songs, and talking to people. I do a lot of talking just to people about God and everything that I know. I'm trying to witness. So today, on this video at least, we're going to talk about being a lot and your witness. And you're probably like, what, being a lot? Like a candlelight? What kind of witness? For a jury? You could probably say that if you want to, a jury. But no, just being a lot for God. And I think it's something that some Christians struggle with. I'm not going to say all, but maybe some. And the reason for that is it can be kind of hard. We're afraid of what people might think of us. If we start going out and throwing our Bibles and, or anything like that. And it can be really easy to get caught up to if you're hanging out with friends and they're doing things and, maybe you might let yourself slip and say something you shouldn't, or maybe laugh at a joke you shouldn't, or put up with too much. And then you kind of ruin your light, and at the same time you're ruining your witness. So one of the easiest ways, to spread your light is if you're having a conversation with somebody and, say you recently got a new job or something went well for you, and you're talking about it with your friend or whatever. You just be like, yeah, God really blessed me. And that lets them know, that you're giving the credit to God where it needs to go. And kind of shines a little light. It's a small light, and it kind of puts a little bit of thought, oh, hey, if things are going well for them, maybe there's something to this. So you're giving the credit to God where it needs to go, and you're giving them a lot. And then, you can also just, if you know somebody who's a sinner, you can just walk up to them and try and start talking to them about it. Some people really don't respond well to if you're all the time like just trying to shove it down their throats or beating them down with it. But if you can kind of slip it in every now and then, just like casually slip it in, be sneaky with it, it'll plant a seed. Because God's, in His Word, it says that His words will not return void. Which means, that like if you're doing what you should for God, if it's preaching or whatever, then the words that He gives you to say, they won't return without having the effect that He wanted them to have. And so it ultimately leads to, to other people's will, if that's what they want, if they want to, go through with it, or just kind of put it in the back of their mind and act like it never happened. But it's plant like a little seed. And so, it's important that we shine a light, especially to our friends and to our family. Because our light really gives us away. It tells us people who we are, and what our goal is, and who we actually stand for. And it'll get really hard in the coming years, I think, for Christians to actually go out and be bold with it and have that zeal, just because it's not a popular thing to be a Christian anymore. Things have really changed, in the past 50 years or 100 years or however long it's been. And, they're going to continue to gradually come against us. And so it's going to be harder to use a lot. But at the same time, though, God rewards those who work for Him. And, He states that we'll be rewarded for suffering in His name. And so that'll happen eventually. Who knows when, but it'll happen. And so you really need to kind of try and shed a light as big as you can. Maybe not just a small little light, but a big one, if you can. It can be really, really, really hard. And it's something, that I've struggled with. Not all the time, but if I'm around like really old friends and I'm afraid of making them uncomfortable or them not liking me or something, then I kind of keep it on the down low. Yeah, they know I'm a preacher, but I kind of keep it on the down low and don't really say much about it. But I've come into more of, I guess, a zeal or the ability to be able to talk about it with my friends and not really care, I guess, anymore. You lose friends. It happens. I've lost quite a few, but you also gain more back. They're better. I mean, I've made a lot of new friends here lately. True Christian friends, and we have a better relationship than what me and my older friends did. So that kind of helps out. But being a witness, though, is extremely important too, especially when you're trying to shine your light. They kind of go hand in hand like this. And so if you're trying to shine a light, then you got to worry about your witness. And what I mean by that is, if you go out and you're talking to somebody about God, and the next thing you know, you're throwing in a couple 4-letter words, well, you might have been shining a light at first, but then you just completely demolished your witness. And it may be that you can recuperate from it, from the situation. It may be that you can't. Because, shouldn't really be having that sort of language. And even if the Bible doesn't say that you shouldn't use cuss words, it still goes with the fact that if people have an opinion or a view that you shouldn't as a Christian, and you do, then you're not shining a light, and your witness is ruined to these people because they're thinking, well, they must not take much stock in it. So why would I do that whenever they just carry on? They're a hypocrite. And you've ruined your witness. And so not only will you be responsible for your soul, but you'll also take part in their soul too. Because it says we're all going to be judged by our works. And if we have horrible works, it's not going to be good. But at the same time, though, if you say, I'm a Christian, and you're living with your significant other, you're not married, and you're having sex, and people know it, you might want to get that looked at, or at least try and remedy the situation. You're living in sin at that point, and you can be forgiven for it, don't get me wrong, but your witness at that point's pretty bad. I mean, people are just going to be like, hey, I'm living with my couple, my whatever, so, big whoop. So they'll kind of, ruin your witness that way. And I think a big one is just the company. You can extremely ruin your witness with the company that you keep. And that's one of the toughest ones. Especially if you're around family or close friends that you've had for a long time and they're not converted but you are. And you're hanging out with them and you just kind of go through the same emotions that you used to. And by that I mean, maybe y'all used to go to Buffalo Wild Wings is a really popular place. A lot of people like to eat. So maybe that's what y'all used to do. You used to all go there and you drink and eat wings. Well, you still go and drink and eat wings. And drinking to an extent is not sin. It's when you get drunk. But I mean, if you just drink one beer, you're fine. You're cool. But that's not where you run into problems, though. You run into problems, though, is the fact that you're drinking it around people who see you as a Christian, who think that you shouldn't drink, but you are. So you're kind of running your witness with all your friends so that you can keep face. I guess that's the phrase I'm looking for, is keep face, maybe? No, I'm not a wordsmith. And that's a big one. Or letting a cuss word slip every now and then. I know it was, I'm trying to think, it wasn't really tough for me to quit cussing. I was pretty bad about that before I got saved, so I don't think it was. It might have been a little bit whenever I got mad. I wanted to throw some words in around there. But as, I kept not doing it, it became easier, so that's one of those things. or just hanging out with your friends in general, like laughing at dirty jokes or, you know, insensitive jokes and stuff like that, or that can really ruin your witness too. You know, if you're hanging out with a bunch of your guy friends and they're talking about some girl and you're like, oh yeah, she's, you know, got this or got that, or oh yeah, you know, just stuff like that, stuff that you shouldn't say. You can really ruin your witness too, because then it's making you look like you're lusting after her, or that you're just looking at her like a piece of meat, which you shouldn't do. So I wish I had like a little thing I could put up like right here and be like, this is why, but some other time. So, and that's really about all I got about being a Lightning witness. It's kind of a rushed video, I guess, but I wanted to get one out while I wasn't, you know, snotting and coughing all over the place. But hopefully I get through this sickness and I can continue bringing better videos. So, have a great day. God bless you.